Hello everyone, I'm making this video to give you my full and spoiler-heavy review of Jaws of Hakkon, the latest DLC of Dragon Age Inquisition. If you want to see my non-spoiler review, click the eye icon at the top right of the screen. You should find it there. Alright, now let's begin. First off, the DLC costs $15, and the most important thing you should know first is that it's based on an open area, Elder Scrolls-like experience, like the hinterlands, the emerald graves, the exalted plains, or was it the exiled plains? I don't remember. These open area zones. The DLC is based on an entirely new, pretty big and wide open area with a rather short amount of cutscenes. I believe there are about 3 or 4 cutscenes overall. It took me just over 4 hours to finish everything from start to finish. So before I get into the spoilers and the story, if you're not into this kind of gameplay with more walking around and exploring and interacting with different people and objects, most of the time outside of cutscenes, then I'm pretty sure this is not the DLC for you. You're probably gonna regret spending $15 on this. But if you are the kind of person that enjoys the open world experience that the game has to offer, then it may in fact be for you. Now the DLC starts off with you looking for the last Inquisitor, Inquisitor Meriden, who was sent here in this Avar inhabited area and was never seen again. We don't know exactly what he was doing. He was doing something on behalf of Emperor Drakon, the then Emperor of Orlais. And so we investigate, we visit the Avar. There is a friendly Avar tribe and there's an aggressive, hostile Avar tribe. There are a few missions with the Avar that are somewhat, I don't want to call them boring, but they're kind of distracting, kind of unrelated to the main story. So the first half of the DLC was not extremely interesting, but from there things picked up and it really piqued my interest. The way the story starts and is set up, you are led to believe that the Inquisitor was most likely Andrastian, most likely a human, noble perhaps, warrior type. But as you go through the area, as you discover more and more, you begin to see signs of elven culture, I guess. You begin to see signs of magic. And then you begin to assume that perhaps the Inquisitor had companions and maybe there were elves and they were mages and so on and so forth. And towards the end, you actually discover that the Inquisitor himself was an elf and a mage and was the leader of the Inquisition back then. He also had a party of a very diverse nature. He had elves and dwarves and humans. And it appears that many of the things that the Chantry says and that history teaches are not exactly true. For example, the Inquisitor was surprised that nowadays Seekers, for example, do not accept mages. He was also a very close friend to the Emperor of Orlais, and you know how elves and Orlesians don't really get along very well. Like I mentioned, they had a dwarf in their party. It also seems like it's very unfortunate that the Inquisitor and his companion, his elven lover, they couldn't go back because they died, they failed to stop this dragon slash demon god or whatever he is, Hakkon. If they had succeeded, they would have come back, and that was during the Blight, during the Darkspawn invasion, and it seems as though they could have made the elves join forces with Orlais and one, defeat the Darkspawn more efficiently, and two, prevent one of the main reasons why later Orlais decided to invade the Dales, the Exalted Marches. The fact that the elves stood by during that time was one of the main reasons, and even Varric says that most likely this Hakkon, this god, was the reason why the Dales fell and the reason why Orlais and the elves kind of lost their friendship, because they lost these two people. But like I said, the story really picks up towards the end, and it got me very interested. And it's really the kind of thing that I enjoy seeing in DLC, even though the story does not really relate to any of the rest of the events that happen in the game. It does not give any additional conversations with companions. It doesn't change the ending or any other parts of the game as far as I can tell. It still provides a very interesting addition and enrichment to the overall lore, and I'm very happy I saw that and I got to experience it. In the end, there's a very funny scene with a bear, and you have to judge her and stuff. So there are some good things about it. The drawback for you, people who are watching this video and thinking whether or not you should buy it, is first the fact that it's not the type of, let's call it the Mass Effect 2 or Mass Effect 3 experience. You don't get linear short zones rich with cutscenes and choices. Instead, you get a more Elder Scrolls-like experience. So that is problem number one you might have. And even if you don't have a problem with this, I'm still not sure about the $15 mark. Now, it's true that it's an entire new wide open area, and it's open in the literal sense. There are no instanced areas, there are no invisible walls. It's an open area, and it's pretty big. It has like different levels. I'm not sure how to call it. You can like climb mountains, discover things there, and it's nice. I liked exploring through it. So maybe developing such an environment really is costly, but then the full game has like what, 10 of those and costs $60, so it probably isn't. The thing is that it will take you 4 or 5 hours, and then you'll be done with it, and you might feel like spending $15 on it was a little too much. Comparing it to the overall game and how much it has to offer, the DLC is nowhere near 1/4 of that. And I know that usually is the case with DLC, but I don't know. If it was $10, I would definitely recommend it. If it's 15, I'd say if you think you enjoy this kind of content and you have $15 to spend, then yeah, go ahead and take it. But if not, be careful. Overall, I enjoyed it. I don't feel sorry for playing it, definitely. I was kind of getting into that point in the first one half of the DLC. I wasn't really sure where it's going, but then it picked up and became interesting, and I liked it. So after finishing it, I remember the good things and the fun parts. So I hope you get to play it as well, and your experience is similar to mine. That was it. I hope that was helpful. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned and be good.